further look at my DVDs. Ahoy everybody, and welcome to the next part of Look at My DVDs. Previous parts on my playlist, past parts on my playlist. No, that's the same thing, isn't it? Previous parts on my playlist, future parts on my playlist. We're on to my bottom set of shelves on my normal film and TV DVDs. Let's just carry on. So this is a very dusty D-Mob. This was an ITV drama from... This is all copyright 1993. Because there was no way this was 2014. So Martin Clunes and Griffiths Jones worked together in the army in World War II. And after he gets demobbed, things aren't going well, so he goes back into show business and becomes estranged from his wife, and they get involved with... his wife's played by Amanda Redman. They get involved with Samantha Womack, or Samantha Janus as she was then. And yeah, it's a good, very good drama, some funny parts. This is delicious, I enjoyed this. This is a British... yeah, it is British. So I think it's co-produced by the French is co-produced by France, some French filmmakers as well. Oh yeah, you know what I mean. It has French money behind it, that'll do. Louise Brealey, a French chef, but played by Nico Rogner, gets released from prison. So he wants to put his past behind him, and he goes to work with Adrian Scarborough, who's this great British chef. And then he meets the girl in the flat down below, played by Louise Brealey, best known as Molly in Sherlock. And he falls in love, but then he finds out she's got a major eating disorder, and he tries to cure her, and... It's just really well acted, really good film. It's Vampire Lovers, a classic 70s Hammer horror film starring Ingrid Pitt and Madeline Smith, George Cole, Kate O'Mara, Peter Cushing. It's loosely based on Madame Baffery, but very loosely. Highly recommend. It's one of my favourite Hammer films. This is a great film. This is Witness, starring Harrison Ford and Kelly McGuinness, and Danny Glover's in it as well. So Harrison Ford is detective John Book, and he has to... one of his colleagues, an undercover narcotics agent, is killed, and a young Amish boy witnesses it. So he moves in with them to protect him while they try and solve the case. And so it's a culture clash between the Amish and a normal New York cop, and he falls in love. But I highly recommend Witness. Highly recommend The Wicker Man, which you really must watch. One of the classic British horror films. Just the tape on the case, or the glue on the case, is coming undone, unfortunately. If you've never seen this, if you watch it, you will then understand so many references in films and TV shows. It's just Edward Woodward is a police sergeant who goes to the remote island of Summer Isle to investigate a disappearance of a young girl, and it's all very strange on the island, and it's a pagan cult basically. and won't spoil the ending, obviously, but as well as Edward Woodward was Christopher Lee, plays Lord Summerisle, Britt Ekland, Ingrid Pitt again, Diane Cilento, who was married to Sean Connery. It's just a classic film. This is a 2-disc set. It's got the original version and the director's cut on it, and it's got commentaries and all sorts of extras as well. Just can't recommend it highly enough. It's a film I really enjoyed. This is the whole 9 yards. Matthew Perry, when he was, hot from Friends, co-stars with Bruce Willis, Rosanna Arquette, Michael Clarke Duncan, Natasha Henstridge, Amanda Peet, and Kevin Pollak. So Bruce Willis is Jimmy the Tulip Trudesky, a hitman who moves into a comfy suburb and gets, the other characters sort of get involved. But yeah, it's good fun, funny, action-y type film. This is Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ. His story of the last few days of Jesus Christ. Beautifully shot film. It's all in Aramaic, so you need to concentrate when you're watching it, but of course you know the plot, if you see what I mean, so you don't need to concentrate that much. But yeah, it's a beautiful film, very well done. If you have an interest in religion for whatever reason, you don't need to be... I'm not a religious person, I don't believe in God, but having been brought up Catholic, a lot of the stories, if you like, interest me. And, I believe Jesus existed and these things did happen, but I just don't believe he was the Son of God, because I don't believe he was a God, but we won't get into this anyway. So, it's interesting even if you're not a believer, if you like. This is Charlie Wilson's War. I think this was another one that I picked up from my friend at work who sold off a load of DVDs, as mentioned in previous parts. I'm not a big fan of Tom Hanks. I think he largely plays himself in most of the films he's in. However, this was quite a good film. It's a good story. The supporting cast are strong. Julie Roberts, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Emily Blunt, Amy Adams, Ned Beatty. Yeah, it's okay. And if you like Tom Hanks, then watch it. This is covered in dust as well. This is Say When, which Keira Knightley, that's why I own it. So just reminding myself, because I've watched this once and haven't watched it since, but I enjoyed it. Ah, yes, right. So Kira's sort of growing up but doesn't want to. She's 28 at the time. Her boyfriend, who she's been with since high school, proposes to her and she panics and runs away. And she befriends a 16-year-old played by Chloe Grace Moretz, and she hides out at her house, and her father's Sam Rockwell. And I'm sure you can guess what happens after that. But yeah, it's just a good comedy. A lot of fun. Worth watching if it pops up on telly. And definitely worth watching if you're a fan of Kira. This is The Adventure of Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother. So it stars the magical trio of Gene Wilder, Madeline Kahn and Marty Feldman. It's written and directed by Gene Wilder. It's although there is no Mel Brooks involvement, it is very much in a similar vein to Young Frankenstein, which all those three star in, and Gene Wilder co-wrote Young Frankenstein. But it's basically a spoof of Sherlock Holmes. Gene Wilder plays his younger brother, Sigerson, who's sort of, in the shadow of Sherlock. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Still with Gene Wilder, this is The Woman in Red, which he also wrote and directed. I love this film, always have done. So Gene Wilder is going through a bit of a midlife crisis. He sees The Woman in Red, played by the lovely Kelly LeBrock. She's walking in an underground garage, and she walks over an air vent and sort of does a Marilyn Monroe-esque, as depicted on the cover, skirt blowing moment, and he instantly falls in love. Turns out she's married, as is he, but eventually he manages to get together with her, but it all goes belly up. But yeah, it's a really good film, really a lot of fun. This was another one. I can't remember that. I'm losing track now of how many I bought from my friend. But this was one of them. This is Grease. This was the Paramount 90th anniversary edition. They re-released a load in these sort of cases, I believe. I might be misremembering. It's got the songbook in it, which is not needed because anybody who knows Grease knows all the words, I'm surely. Still nice to have in a package. It's just a classic film. It's a film I grew up watching whenever it was on telly. It's a film that both men and women, or boys and girls, teenage boys and girls particularly, love. It doesn't sort of it's not one of these musicals that divides the sexes. It's Grease. You all know what it's like. It's the word. This was another one I think that I bought from my friend. This is The Time Traveller's Wife, based on the best-selling book, starring Eric Bana and Rachel McAdams. So Eric Bana can time travel, basically. But he has no say in the matter. He just clicks in and out of time. And it's the story of how he gets involved with Rachel McAdams and their marriage and how it works. And it's just a beautiful story. This is Valentine. This is a horror of sorts, starring David Boreanaz, best known as Angel or Bone, whatever his character name is in Bones. Denise Richards, Marley Shelton, Katherine Heigl. So the girls are all best friends, together with a couple more. And David Boreanaz is sort of a boy they went to school with, I think it was, and they used to torment him. And he's suspected of murder, and he's on the run. And all these girls start getting weird Valentine's messages, and so they suspect that he's after them. And we won't go any further. It's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Wizard of Oz. Something in my head tells me I've already shown you the Wizard of Oz. This is confusing me. Bear with me. Have I got two versions of the Wizard of Oz? No, I've only got one. Must have been a different, similar... Oh, it's Mary Poppins, I think I'm thinking of. It's the Wizard of Oz. It's one of the greatest films ever made. If you don't love it, there's something wrong with you. It's digitally remastered version in a nice yellow clipper case with a nice slip. It's a film I do intend upgrading to Blu-ray at some point. Some nice extras on here, some outtakes, deleted bits. It's the Wizard of Oz. This is National Lampoon's Van Wilder, the first Van Wilder film. This is a Region 1 DVD. Again, this is another one that I think was out in Region 1 before it was even in cinemas over here. So this is Ryan Reynolds, stars as Van Wilder, who's basically a 7th year student. He just doesn't intend leaving college, and he's got a co-ed in every closet and a party to go to every night, as they put it on here. And then Tara Reid's an on-campus reporter who tries to get his story, and things all start to change. But it's very, again, it's sort of in the vein of American Pie, that sort of film. Animal House, that sort. This is Boogeyman, so I lied, because I showed you in another part, Boogeyman 3, and said I don't own any of the other parts. But I lied. I have the first one, and I have the second one. I think I got Boogeyman 3 and enjoyed it enough to want to go back and get the first two. Memory serves. So this is the first one. starring Emily Deschanel, probably, and Lucy Lawless are the biggest names in this one. Again, it's typical slasher film. I was going through a little phase of watching slashers as well. But yeah, it's okay. And this is number 2. Who's in this one? Mae Whitman's probably Tobin Bell's in it as well. Again, more of the same. I think the third one was the one I enjoyed the most. See, I thought I'd now upgraded. Or is this the upgrade? No, this is the upgrade. Okay. This is Base Moi. So this is a French film about 2 women who have enough of life, basically, and so go on a killing and robbing spree, but mainly killing. It's quite notorious because the 2 leads are 2 French porn stars, and there's real sex in the film. But it's a film there's no but about that. Anyway, it's a film I really enjoy. It's very low budget and shots almost cinema verite type. It's just grainy footage and what have you. Not quite cinema verite, but it's almost documentary type, really. Very controversial because it's A, sexually explicit, and B, violent, and it's sexual violence as well. The reason Raphael Anderson's character has enough is because she's raped, and it shows the rape. But it is, as I say, very strong. Maybe enjoy isn't the word I should have used to say, but it's a film I appreciate and can happily watch. And this is the special edition version, which was completely uncut for the first time ever in the UK. It's in the original 166:1 ratio, which the previous version wasn't. I mean, it's got lots of makings of and Q&As and what have you. But yes, I wouldn't say I recommend it, because I can understand why people wouldn't enjoy it, or wouldn't say enjoy isn't the word, but wouldn't want to watch it. But if you like that sort of thing, do. This is a cloning of Joanna May. This was an ITV series from 1992. So, what's his name? Brian Cox clones his wife because she's getting middle-aged and he's had enough of her, basically. And it's all about that. Let's put it that way. But it's good. Very good. This is Tormented. So this is, as they put it, a slasher movie for the Skins generation. So it's a group of teenage school, sort of, I think they're meant to be 16 to 18, that sort of age. Kids. Justine, who's the head girl of this grammar school, finds herself hanging out with the in crowd because she's asked out by Alexis, the school heartthrob. But it turns out that they actually bullied somebody until they committed suicide the previous summer. And he comes back from the dead and starts picking them off one by one. But yes, it's, fun, typical slashery type film. But good cast: Alex Pettyfer, April Pearson, Dimitri Leonidis, Tuppence Middleton. Yeah, it's okay. True Lies, absolutely, I love this film. James Cameron's film, obviously. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a secret agent, but his wife, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, doesn't know. Eventually she finds out. But it's just such a really good film, and it's never been released on Blu-ray. And James Cameron keeps promising it, and it still hasn't come. Yeah, excellent film. Couple more for this part. This is Top Gear, 50 Years of Bond Cars. I like Top Gear. I always enjoy watching it. The Clarkson era Top Gear. I tried the later ones, but I got fed up with them. This isn't really Top Gear, it's just done by the Top Gear team and it's presented by Richard Hammond. But it's basically a look at the history of the Bond cars. And they make a submersible car and what have you. But as a Bond fan, wanted this for the collection, and I think got it for $1.99 or something like that. And finally for this part, this is Wilt. This is a British comedy from the, what was it, 89, starring Smith and Jones, based on Tom Sharp's novel. Right, I was just reminding myself of the plot. So basically, Griffiths Jones is in a loveless marriage and he dreams about murdering his wife. He gets drunk at a friend's party and he gets locked in a passionate embrace with a life-sized sex doll. He ends up dumping it in a hole on a building site, and then his wife goes missing, and so the people have seen him dumping a body in this building site, so he gets suspected of her murder, and the cop investigating is Mel Smith. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And that's it for this part. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.